Hi everyone, it's Miss Sirigliano. I'm checking in. I miss you all very, very much. I hope everyone's doing well. I have a little lesson about time for us today that I'd like to share with you. The first thing that I'd like you to do is think about how your life might be different if we didn't have time. What if we couldn't keep track of time? What if we had no way of knowing what time it was? Feel free at any moment during this video to pause the video and take a couple of moments to think about responses. So, if we had no way of keeping track of time, how would we know what time to go to school? How would we know what time to go to bed? How would we know when it was time for lunch? Our lives would be very, very different, right? So time is very important. It impacts almost everything that we do every day. Today we're going to be learning how to tell time to the nearest 5. But before we get into the lesson, I want to review the difference between the minute hand and the hour hand. So a little trick that I have is that the word minute has more letters in it than the word hour does. So the word minute is a little bit longer of a word than the word hour. Our minute hand is our longer hand, just like it's our longer word. And our hour is our shorter hand, just like it's our shorter word. So the minute hand is longer and the hour hand is shorter. I also want to review the difference between AM and PM. When you ask someone what time it is, they might respond with 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. But what are the difference between the two? Go ahead and take a couple of moments to think. So when we say AM, we're referring to the morning. And when we say PM, we're referring to the afternoon. So let's use the example of a birthday party. If you receive an invitation in the mail for a birthday party, and it says that the party starts at 1 a.m., what would you think? Would this make sense? Why or why not? So I don't think this would make sense. If a birthday party started at 1 a.m., this would mean that it started at 1 in the morning. That's a pretty early birthday party, right? But if it said that the birthday party started at 1 p.m., this would mean that it started at 1 in the afternoon. That's a pretty typical time for a birthday party. So it's really important that we understand the difference between AM and PM when we're talking about time. The next thing that I want to do is skip count by 5s. And I want to skip count by 5s up to our special number 60, because 60 is such a crucial number when we're talking about time. And the reason why I want to skip count by 5s is because we're going to be telling time to the nearest 5. Feel free to count along with me as I count from 5 to 60, skip counting by 5s. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. I have this drawing of a clock that I made that I want to share with you. As you can see, on the inside, I have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These are the numbers that we're going to be talking about when we're talking about hours. Remember that our hour hand is short, so it can only reach to the inside of our clock. But our minute hand is long, so it can reach way outside to these outside numbers. These outside numbers are the numbers we just counted to when we skip counted by 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. These are our minutes. So again, the numbers on the outside that skip count by 5 are our minutes, and our numbers on the inside that go from 1 to 12, those are our hours. I have some clocks that I'm going to show you. This first clock here is like the one that I drew. It has our hours on the inside, the numbers 1 the whole way through 12, and then on the outside, those are our minutes, and they skip count by fives, starting with 5 and going the whole way to 60. This clock right here, I want to ask you what time you think that it says. So remember, when we're looking at clocks, we need to know the difference between the minute hand and the hour hand. The minute hand is longer, the hour hand is shorter. So go ahead and take a couple of moments to think about what time is being shown on this clock right here. So this is our hour hand because it's shorter, and it's not quite yet on the 8, so I know that the hour is 7. And this is our minute hand because it's longer, and our minute hand is right on the 5. But remember, when we're talking about minutes, we're talking about these outside numbers. So if we look at our 5, that's really 25. And if we started at our 1 and skip counted by 5s, would go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So this time would read 7:25. If we look down here, I have some digital clocks. We might be a little more used to seeing digital clocks. They make our lives a little bit easier. This one also reads 7:25, and it even has the AM for us. So this clock and this clock are actually showing the same time. And then this is another digital clock, and it reads 9:30 AM. When we flip the page over, I have some more visuals of clocks. Starting with this one, can you tell me what time this clock reads? Think about the hour hand and the minute hand again. So our hour hand isn't quite on the 5 yet, so we know that the hour is 4, and our minute hand, our longer hand, is again on that 5, and we know that the 5 is 25 if we skip count by our 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Moving over to this clock, our hour hand and our minute hand are almost touching, but not quite. What time do you think is being shown on this clock here? So our hour hand, which is our shorter hand, isn't quite on our 4 yet, so we know that the hour is 3, and our nice long minute hand is also pointing to the 3, but if we skip count by 5s, 5, 10, 15, the 3 is representing 15 minutes, so it's 3:15. Moving down over here, can you tell me what time is on this clock? So our hour hand, our shorter hand, not quite on our 7, so we know that the hour is 6. And then our minute hand is over here on our 8. And if we started the whole way back at 1 and skip counted by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Our 8 is our 40 minutes, so the time would read 6:40. Looking at our last clock right here, can you tell me what time this clock says? Again, think about the hour hand and the minute hand. So our hour hand isn't on our 3, it's on our 2, so the hour is 2, and our minute hand is way up here on our 11, so we could skip count the whole way to 11, or if you remember that 12 is 60, 60 minus 5, moving backwards because 12 minus 1 is 11, we're at our 11, so 60 minus 5 is 55, or we could skip count from our 1 and go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 to our 55. So this time is 2:55. Now I have a special challenge for you. I think that somewhere in your house, there's likely a clock, whether it's a digital clock or a non-digital clock, and I'm challenging you right now to pause this video, stand up from where you're sitting, walk over to any clock in your house, and think about what time it is right now. So can you read the time on any clock in your house right now? That's my special challenge for you. And the last thing that I have is this worksheet for us to look at. Feel free to pause the video and complete the worksheet because I'm going to be going over the answers right now. So if we read the instructions, it says, the following questions all refer to this clock here, and we're going to be writing our answers on these lines. So looking at the first question, what time is being shown right now? So if we look at this clock, let's think about our hour hand and our minute hand. Our hour hand is pointing to the 10. It's not on the 11, it's not on the 9, it's right at our 10. And our nice long minute hand is at the 12. And remember, the 12 represents our 60. So since 60 is our special number when we're talking about time, this means it's exactly 10 o'clock. So our first answer would be 10 o'clock. What time will it be in 5 minutes? So if it's 10 o'clock now and 5 more minutes go by, well, 5 minutes isn't enough time to change the hour, so our hour is going to stay as 10, but 5 minutes would mean that our minute hand would move from our 12 to our 1. But it's not 10:01, right? Because the 1 represents our 5. Because when we start skip counting, when we're talking about minutes, we start with 5 when we touch the number 1. So that would mean that in 5 minutes, it'll be 10:05. Our last question, what time was it 5 minutes ago? So if it was 10 o'clock and we want to know what time it was 5 minutes before, well, if it's 10 o'clock to start, that would mean that 5 minutes in the past, so 5 minutes ago, our hour hand would be on our 9 because it wouldn't be 10 o'clock yet, right? So right after our 10 comes our 9, and our minute hand would be on our 11 because 11 comes before 12 and we're moving backwards in time. So this would mean that it would be 9, and then if our minute hand's on our 11 and we skip count around 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. So it would mean that 5 minutes before it was 9:55. So 5 minutes earlier than 10 o'clock, it was 9:55. I hope that you are all doing well. I really, really miss seeing you all. I wish that we could be face to face. I hope that you're enjoying some of the sunshine we've been having, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.